My friends, this is where we part ways. I'll lead these people to safety and meet you on the other side of the border.
You're leaving the caravan?
They have a long way to go before they reach Dutton. Let's go. We must find my contact. He often fishes further up the river.
Who is this contact?
One of your people. The only one I really know. He'll lead us to the others. They're hiding somewhere in these hills or in the ruins. Without his help, we'll never find them. Those cursed monkeys are everywhere around here. Stay on your guard. My contact usually waits a little further up the river, so as not to be seen from the village.
You seem a little lost. Need some help?
Smejuns te do flanem. Hade hedam.
Olej siu. Abalden dani. A kan ta beit endon olej hamsteram. Kwan smeuin den is diernen bocht. Maraduer samel kom. Kwan sient nadach deis. Tausit magreda chaljedu. Ta sheda? Mes quies. Boko vednik se. Oleg aru lambda nadach toame. Em abald samelsa. De denjasem ovunag. Ak anedargnet. En aglede mar en sa gaudam. Regt ma hanemam. Ose samel ma hirem, Fravins. Ato? Sme ons dent eduven?
Kagwen ai dachtam. Asie en oleg vregu for smeuni winta bertas. Hagen olej hamsterras jam rendem komolej.
Es samel knedam jamren. To ame, da he krechtom sam. Minund ni da holeg.
Quai galos me oleg vriden am ger.
Faret es to samel sin. Nas to samel quen, de jam kladente vriden an duben an etalemem. Es to samel saloban, jam to klade vintan lau. Sista hawel de hetira renoiksamen nama began, a goita kene.
What do you think about this continent they've brought us to?
Brought? Deported or thrown would be more correct. I don't know what to tell you. It's such a strange place. Everything is huge and ominous, other than nature, which seems to be in constant suffering. The rivers are stale, the hills are bare, and the soil is poor. Here there is no healing song from the one of 1,000 faces. There is just an atrocious and deafening lament that echoes my own anger.
Quai galos me With everything that happened, we never really had a chance to talk about our bonding ceremony again.
It's true. It feels like 1,000 years ago. But if you don't mind, I'd rather talk about it in our own language. Fragole jasjord, es bignek dau lechdam, da gret dau emes olevir. So kontabu je digret chal da vujet nes diri. Da gontabe di at hanalidi, agereudi at gredes, oid venei en magleben. Da elu de helugidon mil feteni. Onessa godom and, so kontel. Samel radido nes diern. Ja flint me. Hakaer, sa ned samach das glod. Sido. Age hamsteram seg, boat hagos enenik nes nodoigi. Demas hies. Bokoloen me. Kontabe kosag. Ko hontach, kanes henesem nes wiem. Renduer saule des. Mache ol tegedach de hegawan. Sagato. Quod boe voglendidad. Contabide sequesa sam?
Escomem cam samel mabude des. E god neis dierni amevas. E shionau age crei a lied varma vasa. Aka hot samel tiria snegded sies enem. E canta buie da vuie don ca he betom oleam. Can neis hennesem. Agis virto. En nadoik ko hagos ja toikt samel da vule dideis. Nasi entam vregu forsmeuni desa amstorra moleg.
Name kassin, Aridenger. Name kassin.
See you later.
Boy.
Now that we're a safe distance from the prison, I imagine you're expecting me to introduce myself? Sybil de Vespe, at your service.
De Vespe? As in the family who rules Peren?
The same. I'm a distant cousin of Prince Alexander. And in case you were wondering, I'm just as diabolical and manipulative as he is. Everyone fears me. But what about you? Who are you? Some terrible criminal?
I'm Fausta. I was born in Teleme and banished from there as well. I wound up in jail for having seen too much. I was accused of spying for my motherland. You can decide if that's terrible or not.
I must admit, I thought you would have taken flight as soon as you got out of jail.
I'm in good company. Why would I run?
Your plan worked perfectly, Sybil. Thank you. We'd never have made it without you. It did, didn't it? I'm rather proud of myself, especially since it was my first jailbreak. But you must have questions. Who is this mysterious woman, really? How does she manage to remain so elegant after crossing through the sewers in half of Tainea?
Why did you come and free us from prison?
Because it was fun, of course. Like any spoiled noblewoman, I'm desperately bored, and any distraction is welcome. I jest. I simply did my best to respond adequately to my good friend Alvida's request. I wouldn't refuse your thanks, but it would be more fitting for you to thank our kind-hearted Nort.
I told you, I feel responsible for what happened to them. Those monsters used our ships to rip them away from their land. Their friend died on one of our ships. I couldn't let them die in that horrible prison.
You've proven my point, Alvida. You've got a heart of gold. And a delightfully idealistic view of the Norts.
How did you manage to enter the prison? You didn't poison all the guards.
No, as you were able to see for yourself. It just so happens that I am. Rather, I was a diplomat in Alima. I was a representative of the merchant congregation there. It gave me a number of privileges, including the right to visit most of the city's official buildings.
You seem quite well equipped for a diplomat.
I'm a de Vespe. We're born with a sword in one hand and a vial of poison in the other.
Why did you come with us? Someone like you must have better things to do than follow a group of freshly escaped Tirfradians.
Better things to do, perhaps, but this journey has an absolutely delicious taste of adventure about it. But alas, the truth is far more mundane. After organizing your escape, it would have been difficult for me to keep my position as a diplomat. And besides, let's just say that Alima's climate was beginning to take a toll on my health.
How do you always manage to make light of everything that happens? As if nothing really mattered.
Believe me, a lot of things are important to me. But derision and levity have saved my life more than once. When you're born into a family like mine, steeped in conspiracy and surrounded by murder, when tragedy and horror are daily occurrences, humor is the only way to keep from sinking into madness. I've seen firsthand what madness can drive us to. All I had to do was look at my dear cousin Octave. No doubt you had a very different childhood?
It's true. I haven't experienced murder and conspiracy, but things haven't always been perfect. My father died when I was a child. He was killed while out hunting. My mother found his body. She was never the same after that. But despite it all, I was lucky. The whole village was there for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I imagined your life was peaceful before you were taken. We have such an idyllic vision of life on your island. I should have known it was just a fantasy.
You seem very proud of your family. They rule over a city, if I understand correctly.
The ancient city of Peren. The oldest inhabited city on the continent, if local legend is to be believed. My family, the de Vesps, have been merchant princes there for generations. No other family in the city would be mad or suicidal enough to claim the title anyway. You see, my family has made assassination their art and manipulation their language. And an unquenchable thirst for power pulses through our veins. However, we are no longer the leaders of the congregation, as Peren has lost some of its influence. That honor belongs to the Dorsays, the princes of Serene. And of course, every member of our family has sworn to take the title from them. My uncle is His Highness Alexander de Vesp I, assisted in his sinister plans by my cousin, Octave, whose name alone is enough to make one tremble in fear. Between you and me, they're all obsessive murderers who have been driven mad by inbreeding and idleness. But their name still opens many doors, which could be useful to us.
You mentioned you were a diplomat in Olima. What exactly was your role?
I was the legate, which is a way of saying I was the congregation's ambassador to Olima, at your service. I represented our nation in this great city, which, while though it's not a capital, is a major city in the Bridge Alliance. My job there was to further the congregation's commercial and diplomatic interests. I had to make sure certain agreements were reached, and sometimes I had to keep others from being signed. It's a rather boring job, to be honest. The only good part about it is that you're invited to attend ever so many parties and banquets.
You called Alvida a good friend. However did a diplomat and a Nord become close?
I met Alvida when she was a sailor on the ship that took me to Olima. We hit it off quickly, even though it may be hard to believe when you look at me today. I was a little nervous at the idea of being all alone in a foreign country. She introduced me to the beauty of travel and discovery. We met again in Olima later, when she was visiting. During one of our last encounters, she helped me out of a tricky situation, even though she didn't have to. It was the first time someone had done something for me without expecting anything in return. That's rare, especially when you're a de Vesp. My, just listen to me, getting all sentimental. The reason doesn't matter much in the end. We're friends, that's all.
You must know Olima well. What can you tell me about this city?
Is that all I am to you? A tour guide? All right. Olima is a sprawling city divided into 4 main districts, each dedicated to a different activity. The city's famous observatory looms above it all. The port is Nort territory. They have a concession there that allows them to have their own docks and warehouses. That's where most of the trading and exports take place, in particular to Tirfredi. Then there's the Science District, which gives the city its nickname, the City of Stars. The city's founders built all the city's laboratories, teaching facilities, and observatories there. It's mainly inhabited by pedantic scholars who know absolutely everything about everything. They are Olima's elite, the city's nobles, as it were. Of course, there's also a district for the city's craftsmen and other noble artisans, tanners, blacksmiths, and the like. It's a very lively district, because even though it's far from the front lines, it's involved in the war effort. Which brings me to the last district, the military district, where you'll find the barracks of the Coin Guard and the Alliance's soldiers. There. I think that about does it.
Let's talk about it later.
Always at your service.
Do you need my services? My advice?
What were you doing on the ship that kidnapped us, if you didn't approve of their actions?
When you're a common sailor, you can't choose which ship you embark on. And you can't choose your missions or what you're transporting. Like most nauts, I disapprove of carrying forced passengers. And believe me, I said just that to my captain at the time. But alas, he's the kind of person who puts profit above conscience, enriching the guild rather than adhering to its original spirit. I'm sorry. I'll do my best to redeem my people and convince them to stop the trafficking.
Have you and Sybil known each other for a long time?
We met a few years ago, when I was a deckhand on the ship that brought her to Alima. We hit it off right away, and we saw each other several times while she was working. We became friends, and when I was looking for a way to get you out of jail, she was the first person who came to mind. She's resourceful, but also funny. You should see her impressions of her uncle. She's incredible.
I won't bother you any longer.
See you soon.
What is it?
You say you hail from Thélème. What can you tell me about your country?
My country? It's almost strange to put it that way, even though it is true that I was born there. Thélème is vast, greener and less arid than Tainea. Numerous cities budding with towers and belfries pierce our horizons. The most magnificent among them is the capital, Montorga. The Council of Cardinals rules from there. They are both our highest political and religious authority, and they wield powerful magic. But that's a paltry description that lacks personality, isn't it? In truth, Thélème is vastly complex and utterly beautiful. I hope one day to return. The way the sunlight dances over the church rooftops at dawn is a warmth I often miss.
What are you doing in Tainea? Your countries are at war, are they not?
I had to leave my country. I was banished after an unfortunate incident. I could have gone to Peren. It would have been less of a challenge. I did in fact travel through there before arriving in Olima, but there were too many things that reminded me of my home country, and too many people from Thélème who bore grudges because of my actions. Going to Tainea was a risky leap into the complete unknown, but it offered me the chance to have a new life.
I crossed paths with missionaries from Thélème on Tir Fradi. They spoke of your religion. But what can you tell me about it?
You already know that we worship a god that we call the Enlightened, and that Saint Matthias, his prophet, converted us to worshipping him. The Enlightened blesses us with his light, the source of all life, and offers some the gift of magic. I'm no expert in theology. I wasn't much of a student on the subject. I have a more instinctive approach, despite my gift. But if you are truly interested in the topic, it won't be hard to find entire books on the subject.
Are you a believer as well?
Yes. Are you not yourself a believer, even though your divinity goes by a different name? How can one not believe when the Enlightened, or the god you worship, blesses you with the power to defy the laws of nature? I know well that the Alliance thinks it is nothing more than a phenomenon they've yet to explain. And I'm sure that in the end, a scientific explanation will be found for everything. But I do not share their opinion.
What was it like living in Olima when you're from Thélème?
It was difficult at first. Everyone was suspicious of me. I wasn't just a foreigner, I was an enemy. But I learned to hide my differences in public, and not to talk about my origins or my beliefs. As for those who already knew, I told them why I was in their country, which reassured them. As an exile, I was seen as less dangerous. But you're right, it wasn't easy. I had to change all my habits,
practically changed my skin to adapt in order to survive. Sometimes I even forgot where I came from, who I really was. I became the mask I wore. I imagine you're asking me this because you're wondering how you're going to be able to live on the continent.
I'm just pondering it. I'm not ready to follow the same path as you. I couldn't deny who I am for anything in the world. Despite the hostility of many of those we meet, I won't give up my identity or my origins to please them. Tyr Freddy is part of me. I can't abandon it.
I understand. You were taken from your land against your will, while I had to go into exile because I'd made a mistake. I wasn't happy about leaving my country, but I had no one to blame but myself. Unlike you, you could take the easy way out and blend in, but you prefer to hold your head high. That's very brave. Dangerous. Perhaps even foolish, but brave. And your love for your land and your culture speaks volumes about you. As much as I love my country, I don't know if I'd be willing to take such a risk.
I must leave you.
What is it?
If I've understood correctly, you're from the land they call Dutton.
That's right. The Holy Dutton Empire. I suppose you'd like me to tell you more about it. It could be a beautiful place to live. It's vast, full of beautiful forests and rich lands. That's most likely because it's soaked in the blood of the poor souls who were sacrificed to the folly of the powerful. For my country has always been at war. Or at least it has been for so long that no person alive knows the meaning of the word peace. We're at war with the Alliance, of course, as the Dutton Empire follows the path of the enlightened. But we are also at war with ourselves. Ever since a new holy man challenged the organization of all things spiritual as imposed by Ptolemy, the nobles and princes have taken sides, following whoever best serves their interests, of course. And as usual, the people are those who pay the price. Not only are they sent to the slaughter against the Alliance troops, they must also shed blood at home by killing their brethren in the service of the local noblemen and their loyalties of the day. A beautiful country indeed.
How long have you known Alvida?
It's been some time now. I've had dealings with Nauts on several occasions in the hope of using their ships. Those who agree to traffic contraband are few and far between, and they are unreliable. They're even more unscrupulous than I am. Alvida isn't one of them. She's not like that, and she let me know the moment we met. She's an idealist. I understand her point of view, and I think she understands mine. Though she doesn't approve of my dealings, she defends some causes that are dear to me. And now that she owes me, I know I can count on her help. Provided, of course, that what I ask for doesn't offend her vision of the Nauts.
Why did you become a smuggler?
I'd rather not discuss that if you don't mind, especially with someone I barely know. But since you're asking, I haven't always been a smuggler. I used to be a soldier. If you absolutely need a reason for what I do, just tell yourself that I've had my fill of the horrors of war. Or maybe you think I'm a coward, or that I'm only motivated by greed. I am what I am.
I think you mentioned you were a wanted man.
You can't be a smuggler without ending up on the hit list at some point. My trade annoys a lot of people, and the few attacks my friends and I carried out on convoys annoyed them even more. Put all that together and add in my past, and you'll find me at the top of the list. If you needed money and weren't wanted yourself, you could claim a handsome bounty by turning me in.
See you later.
Of course.
Show them what we're made of! My arbor is broken! Show them what we're made of! My armor is broken!
My armor is completely ruined!
them what we're made of! My armor is broken!
Without my deflection, this could end badly for me. My armor is ruined.
armor is broken! Let's show them what we're made of!
My armor is completely ruined!
A fine piece of rope. I'd take it if I were you. You never know when you'll need it.
Hey up. Looks like we won't be needing our prisoners' help after all. The savages come to us on their own, and in strange company.
Maybe it's another gang caught some of them too.
I can talk to them, if you like. I know how to deal with this breed of ne'er-do-well.
Since you offered, be my guest.
Gentlemen, madam, I bid you good day. Let me get straight to the point. You've detained someone we'd like to see released. This prisoner is a burden to you. You don't know what to do with him. And you're probably hoping to make some money by selling him into slavery. Well, how much?
I knew it. That one wants all the savages for himself. He must know something about the treasure that we don't.
Don't say a thing. Yes, we've got a native, and we were about to sell him, since he won't talk to us. But you seem to be doing so much better than us in this respect, since your savage speaks to you so trustingly. Since you know how to use their gifts too, that'd be worth a lot more than the handful of coins we get from selling him.
Whatever are you talking about?
As if he didn't know. Everyone knows that the islanders from Refugee attract gold.
Indeed. And we know there are other natives lurking around here, which makes us all the more sure there's a fabulous treasure hidden in these ruins. My dear, you know all about these old stones. Isn't that true?
Ancient treasures are often hidden in the ruins of Astria, and I know that there are many artifacts to be found here. I read that some of Aleko's own possessions were kept here. My tutor also spoke of a particularly lavish temple adorned with a magnificent figurine.
Oh, there you have it! So, here's the deal. You use your treasure compass and bring us back some. Then we'll be more than happy to free your friend.
You're not from this country, are you?
Oh, pretty observant for an islander. You're right. I'm originally from the Teuton Empire. Unfortunately, my country's at war with this one, so I avoid telling the locals about it. They might take it the wrong way.
You have a very unusual way of speaking. Does everyone in your country talk like you?
Oh, alas, no. Most of them are boors, like your dour friend. But I come from a good family.
The son of a duke!
A bastard, probably, who thinks his half-blue blood makes him better than everyone else. Unless, of course, he's just a smooth talker who's made up a title for himself to seduce naive young women.
Sir, I cannot allow you to say such things. However, I'd rather keep the secret of my birth to myself. It's not something you go telling complete strangers.
Who is the young woman who is traveling with you? She doesn't look like the other members of your party.
You're right. My beloved is an accomplished scholar like no other. But she can answer for herself.
My name is Delara. I'm a historian who studies Gacan, and in particular the Astrian civilization. I was on an expedition with my tutor to explore these ruins, but the old fool is blind, and I spent more time chasing the monkeys that stole our belongings than conducting research. So, when I met my sweetheart, I realized that my future lay elsewhere.
Oh, it was love at first sight.
Especially when he realized that she could help us find treasure in these ruins.
Why did you set up camp in these ruins? There can't be many people around here.
Oh, you must think we're common highwaymen, out to rob merchants and travellers. That is not the case, I assure you. Although we sometimes have no option if we are to survive, we have other aims and aspirations. We are gentlemen of fortune, drawn to mysteries and the pursuit of fabulous treasures. And these ruins are chock full of them.
Yeah, Being holed up in the middle of nowhere isn't a bad idea when you've got the guard breathing down your neck.
We'd like to see our friend first, to see that he's all right.
I don't see any harm in that. You'll see he's been treated well. We're not brutes. However, don't you go trying to do anything stupid. If you try to free him without holding up your end of the bargain, we won't think twice about using violence.
Walker, you've come back, and with more of my people. These men are crazy. I beg you, tell them to free me.
We're here to help. Are you all right?
They haven't treated me badly, but they're talking about selling me to the soldiers.
Quid fravins de Sadonea?
Eskahole mer. Second em koime enedid esmeonen, em fravin quenied esed. Sagna fravin on quest madar casa. Anatui gon questa hefarnas jam radident. Nakoid ole jam radident slundem en om vegem. Lima dividu de radidau quint. Ano mene de rennau de dem. Es end en beter kan. Rendur da kenne. Na meent de vee sa adiven.
Quenia de se foileg neis luchtos. Kellen de rageslanet?
Kelde ne solmad. Quies manas quels de se essa. Nas menin em sientit oragides. Sag es volad embrogend a tusi tuchstad biade dwint. Es marigem de veru, var has feshon de vadedau dent chachranad. Tege den oile, de siglenach toredemen evridenemen nacham. Sag nas marag. Quelshid emes madent.
Quid siart? Quod ber duar var?
Tege de he dunusid ole veregem et varem da eshidach. Esenedem dag enenam. Quien sasient on donne velu. De manetoigent esin anamendu. Nu boquent smeonem. Sin bargem tusignem de harolo moidi de esidach. Atauig den samerame. Togdu em veliden me queni de daroiden dem de em. Boreid ent de horegi wint hum koime. Karadem nasmeoden de herudem qua he dunosed. Olbud ole sonea en contortam.
Nou brok, oi regamis dagam de veru de echter de essa.
It seems to me that I've shown enough kindness letting you chat. It's time to get to work now.
Na tegetis dem casamera am.
We'll be back soon, don't worry.
Yes, after all we have to do is find a treasure, a mere trifle.
Well, we're off.
Get out of here. Put your strange senses to work and find me a treasure.
We'll do our best.
Show them what we're made of!
My armor is ruined. Without my deflection, this could end badly for me.
My armor is completely ruined.
Show them what we're made of!
My magic deflection has run out!
My armor is completely ruined.
This armor is no good anymore!
Somebody's there! At last! I thought I'd starve to death in this hole!
What happened? What are you doing in there?
I fell. It was a stupid accident. Would you be so kind as to get me out of here?
You'd have to be either very distracted or half blind not to have seen that hole.
I suppose you could say I became absorbed by my thoughts. I'm a sculptor, you see. I came here to get inspired by these ruins, and while I was marveling at these wonders, I wasn't really looking where I was going. Well, now that you know how absent-minded I am, could you get me out of here?
Lucky for you, we have a rope with us.
Oh, I guess I'm lucky in my misfortune. Look, just get me out of here and I'll be grateful. I've just finished a sculpture in the Astrian style that I'd be happy to give you. You can easily sell it for a good price, or keep it if you're a connoisseur.
Just hold on a minute while we secure it, and you can climb up here.
Thank you for helping me out of my little predicament. You're a true patron of the arts. The sculpture I promised you is back at my camp. You'd better come with me to get it.
We'll follow you.
I'm a man of my word. Here's the sculpture as promised. This is my finest work to date. It's inspired by these ruins, and is in the purest Astrian style. It could pass for the real thing. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to make myself something to eat. I'm starving. Thank you for getting me out of that hole. Farewell.
Watch out! Your armor is in shreds!
armor is broken! My magic deflection is gone! I'm hurt! I need healing!
I won't let you finish what the Alliance started!
My armor is completely ruined!
bastardo!
If it isn't my favorite treasure hunters, what can I do for you?
We found this sculpture. We thought it was very beautiful.
It is indeed beautiful and surprisingly well preserved. It reminds me a great deal of a statue in the Prince's collection in Peren.
I suppose we better find another buyer in that case.
Oh, there'll be no shortage of them. To have a statue that can rival that of a prince, it'll certainly attract a lot of interest.
Well, since you kept up your part of the bargain, I'll keep mine. Your friend is free to go. Take him with you and get out of here. We've got to prepare for our departure. What do you think, my dear? Where do you think is the best place to sell this marvel?
They've agreed to let you go.
Thank you for persuading them. Thank you 1,000 times over. I don't know how you managed to understand them. I think these people are mad. Come on, let's go to our people. They'll make you feel right at home. You'll see. Let me see your map. This is where our camp is.
Let's show them what we're made of!
Stop. We can't risk going to the village. There are too many soldiers there right now. Come on. My islander contact usually waits hidden a bit farther up the river.
Hello. Sorry, I'm not very skilled with the language of the Renoise.
Hello. Were you abducted too? You're from the clan of the Golden Scales, aren't you?
Again, hadregtes brotume. Perde haul fradem sadio, o berda has kagarantanui. You're the one Ken calls Walker, aren't you?
That's the nickname he gave me. My name is Ludwig.
Welcome, Ludwig. The things you brought us have been a great help. And I see that this time you've brought us some of our own people.
Yes, yes. Like you, they were taken from your island. They were imprisoned and escaped.
All our people are welcome here.
Adlach edar dat a garte maval. Gailur vridanam ger. Es me one donegada men e shanta men lag.
Fridan ger. Es anum yori. Sagia berad crimoderem dadesa. Oi riden de loban carriden on gerveldacham qualnadactansan. Avar satir to cladmir oledes. And who are your other companions in this land?
I'm Alvida. I'm a Naut. We guide the great ships.
We all know what Nauts are, unfortunately for us.
I'm sorry. I hope to atone for our sins by finding a way to get you back to your island.
A noble goal. A dream, even. I hope the winds and the earth will help you bring it to life.
My name is Fausta. I'm just a fugitive from Teleme.
We're happy to have you here. And even if we don't have much, we'll gladly share it. As you will soon learn for yourselves, it's extremely precarious. Although we are free, we must remain hidden, or risk being imprisoned again. Some of our people are sick and weakened by the ordeal they've been through. And we are short on everything. Any help you can offer will be most welcome. But I don't want to burden you. You must be tired. I'll let you settle in and get to know each other.
Aridenger, esata harragau da eludem. Radita garat nilan kud galundar samelsa. Navrek sa enig. Es anum yalinet enkome. Anum yabert ad londem flan essa. And Walker, you came too.
I've still got a few things to check before we set off again.
I'm glad you've come all this way with us. Stay as long as you like.
How are you doing after all this excitement?
Fine, thanks to you. Those fools treated me well, but it wouldn't have lasted if they'd sold me. I'm a little afraid to go fishing in the same place again, though. I'll have to find another spot, and get someone to fix my harpoon. It suffered more from the fight than I did.
Would you like me to try and mend your harpoon? I come from a fishing village, and I am familiar with this variety of tools.
The shining scales. Yes, I heard. You could say we're lucky in our misfortune. Here you go.
It's lost a bit of its balance, but at least you'll soon be back to fishing.
Thank you very much. The winds that carried you to us were truly blessed.
Ever quetsiad dad, siens tugiam na sient tranagu soja an clywed end o redufen.
Na faber quidquins du. Na fravins on quest.
Hages arulam to do linkwid au oilem en quincy de quese sadama da hanadislan.
No, san caurto. Sag nasiet. Asa vegum nasiet.
If we are to take sides, you should tell us more about what you're arguing over.
I want to leave. I've spent enough time here recovering from our imprisonment. I know that more of our people are still prisoners, and I just can't sit here and do nothing about it.
And I want him to stay here with me. I'm afraid of this land that seethes with evil. I'm afraid of its violent inhabitants and what they might do to him. I don't want to lose my beloved because he wants to be a hero.
You say that more of our people are still prisoners. What do you know about it?
I know that when I escaped from the place where I was locked up, there were others who couldn't follow me. I can't imagine how they're suffering right now. Some were already gravely ill.
Where was it?
It was near their very large village, in huge rooms dug into the ground. I couldn't show you on a map, but I think I could find my way back.
You say you suffered. You weren't locked up with your husband?
No. When the journey on the great ship was over, I was taken to a place with the other women and young boys. A merchant traded us one after the other like goods. A man took me away and... I don't want to talk about what he did to me, I can't. But I know that people in this land are evil, and I never ever want to go through that again. And I don't want Virgo to leave me all alone.
Is this camp really safe?
Yes, we've been here for weeks, and no one has ever bothered us.
We've been hiding here like rats, only going out at night to find a bit of food. That's no way to live. And who's to say we won't be found sooner or later?
We won't stay here forever. Rumor has it that you're going to help us get back to Tefradi, right?
Indeed. My Nord friend has promised to do everything in her power to ensure that we can return home.
You see? Why risk our lives when we could just wait?
Virgil, I understand your point of view and your desire to save our kinfolk, but Siedmod has suffered enough. After what she's been through, she needs you. She needs your support and your presence.
He's right. Don't leave me all alone. Without you, I don't know what will happen to me. I'm so scared when we're apart.
My beloved, I'm sorry. I was only thinking of those I left behind. I hate that I didn't save them.
With my friend's help, we might be able to find them and rescue them. You can tell us how to get to them, but you must stay here with the woman you love.
You're right. I've behaved like a blind fool. Forgive me, my beloved. And thank you for your wise words.
Yes?
I've seen you use magic in battle. A different kind of magic.
Yeah, that's one of life's little jokes. I had no talent for it, or at least I never realized it when I was on the front lines. When I switched careers and my disgust for all that religious garbage was at its peak, I discovered I had a gift. Apparently, the Enlightened has a sense of humor. Now, I can do a little magic, but I can't use the rings. Even if I'd had this talent before, I would have never gotten very far in the Mateist hierarchy.
As a smuggler, you're always on the move. What's that like? Isn't it tiring to live without any attachments?
It's not the life I would have chosen if I had the choice, you know? I would have liked a quiet life on a plot of land with my family. But the war stole that dream away from me. I was forced to follow the local noblemen into battle, and it was chaos. Nothing but blood and guts and death. Finally, I left all that, left everything behind, it's true. It haunts me every day, no matter how hard I try to survive. But the ties I once had cost me far too dearly. Or let's say they cost too much to the people I loved. At least I'm not alone out here on the road anymore. You're here too, in spite of yourself. What's it like for you?
I have to keep going. I don't have much of a choice. But I miss my loved ones every day. Those who stayed behind on our island and the ones I've lost for good and won't see again.
I'm sorry. I know what that's like, and there's no greater pain than being cut off from a part of yourself. Your memories, however painful, can sometimes help you. They can provide a glimmer of hope in this endless misery. Don't let them fade away. Keep the most beautiful moments to dream about, and use the hardest ones to fuel your anger. You'll need it.
See you later.
Of course.
If I can be of any help.
Do you know anything about the ruins here? They are different than the ruins in our homeland.
I don't know anything about the ruins in your lands, but these ruins are similar to all the ruins found in the southern parts of the continent. They are the marks of an ancient civilization that lived and thrived here long before us, the Astrians. In those days, they had managed to unite the entire continent under a single banner, which seems unthinkable today. But outside of a few surviving stories that speak of their celebrated general, I must admit that I don't know much else. Concerning these ruins in particular, they seem rather vast, and they were certainly the remains of a city in their time. Scholars from the Alliance love to study the stones in the hopes of finding some lost parcel of knowledge.
I'll do my...
I had no idea there were so many natives of my island on this continent. Did you know?
I suspected as much. I know the ship I served on is far from the only one transporting your people. Transporting. Kidnapping would be more accurate, wouldn't it? However, I would never have imagined that our crimes were so great, and that we'd brought so many here. It shames and angers me. I'm so dreadfully sorry that our guild is involved in this.
What does being a Naut mean to you? I get the impression that when you talk about the Nauts, you talk about them as if they were your clan, your family.
That's true. I don't know what being part of a clan means to you, but the Nauts are my family. Quite literally to begin with. After all, my family are Nauts. But it's more than just our lineage. The sea, the ships, Yuxantis, our knowledge of navigation, and even the rules that govern us are all part of me. Part of my history. I'm proud to be a Naut. I'm proud to ride the waves, even if I'm not always proud of the things we agree to do on behalf of others. We're not really a people. The many Sea-Given who come from around the world are just as much Nauts as I am. The thing that unites us is the belief that we share the sea. The sea is the bond we all share, and Yuxantis is our home. I imagine it's an idea that must seem strange to an outsider.
Maybe a little. But your bond with and because of the sea reminds me of the bond we Donegada have with our island. No matter what clan we're from, we all share the same bond with the land of Tir Fradi. We're all different, and the specific history of our clans makes us unique. Yet we also share a great deal of knowledge. Traditions that are handed down from generation to generation. And our land binds us together, creating a mutual understanding that's deeper than words, and a sense of belonging.
That's it. That's exactly it. I'm so happy you understand. There are so many people who only see us as merchants on ships, but I think we're much more than that.
Yes? Did you need me?
Had vel desembud kontrian ir neis luchdos for satir?
Na. Od vel duem bodonea oilio tokladunten es hennesem. Sog. Na dagom a gojetnem em fleudende da hadgom frangi. Es an tu saudi. Samele toise medi koreina ui. Agan hamsteram sam. Es an targu kassin. Foret es slont em fodekt und ranes luftos. Ag an kenaidun da doigi essa. Oila samelni. Ja es kwelste vin valiem. De hedoneia ja karent. Echter gwelshit vir da hadregau.
How can I help you?
You must know Olima well. What can you tell me about this city?
Is that all I am to you? A tour guide? Ah, all right. Olima is a sprawling city divided into 4 main districts, each dedicated to a different activity. The city's famous observatory looms above it all. The port is Naught territory. They have a concession there that allows them to have their own docks and warehouses. That's where most of the trading and exports take place, in particular to Refugee. Then there's the Science District, which gives the city... Always...
Birtirsimat, how do you feel?
To be finally free and surrounded by friends does wonders. But this earth has brought me some very mysterious dreams.
To me too. Dreams full of darkness and anger.
Many Donegada feel the same thing. This earth is sick.
Sick? What do you mean?
It's difficult to explain it to someone who is not bound.
When we were on our island, the bond gave us...
Maru! Atir ta Diana fraven dan numan. Farre krimoderen ta tahruinam. Medad! ¿Ves? ¡No!
Incredible.
Shoot, but do not kill it! I want that thing alive!
Careful! She has lost all control of herself!
They'll miss the sea that gave them life! This armor is no good anymore!
My armor is broken!
use. We cannot fight it. We must flee. Let's head for that boat.
Hurry up! Everyone is aboard!
Hang in there, son! Damn it! She followed us. Get up, son! Hurry! Oh, no!
Come aboard, soldier! I'm not gonna let you die!
Take my hand!